Welcome to the training. I'm Terry Fredrickson, CEO of New Day Products and Resources, and we are doing a recording of this training of behavior modification. So very excited. I'm excited to do this training. A little bit about me, a little bit about my background. I am a certified counselor in the state of Idaho. I provide therapy. I specialize in addictions. So I do a lot of behavior modification in that realm. But when working with people with disabilities, we found that there's some very successful techniques and some approaches that can be used in all areas of my life, right? Not just even working with people with disabilities, just working with human beings. So this training is a training that is designed to help you not just be a better job coach, but to be just a better person. This can have an effect on all areas of your life. But before we get any more deeper into that training, I want to tell you guys a story. I want to tell you about a chicken who came to a library. And this chicken walked up to the librarian and it said, book, book, book. And the librarian said, okay, handed it 3 books. Next day, the chicken came back and said, book, book, book. The librarian gave it 3 more books. Third day, the chicken came back and said, book, book, book. This time the librarian said, I'm going to give you 3 books, but I'm going to follow you. I'm going to see where you're taking our books. Right? So this librarian followed this chicken through town, followed it through the country, and followed it to a swamp. And at the swamp, the chicken laid the books down, and there was a frog sitting there, and the frog said, read it, read it, read it. Right? There you go. There's your joke for the day. But guys, how often do we do something like give a chicken a book because that's just the way we do it, right? So one of the first things that we have to do is we have to take a step back and say, what behaviors do I do on a regular basis that don't make sense, but yet I keep doing them? At some point, you have to be the librarian that says, hey, I need to take a step back and reevaluate this relationship, this behavioral relationship that I have with this person. Can it be improved? Why is it this way? Why is it always happening this way? And then address those issues. So the first thing we're going to talk about when it comes to relationships is we're going to talk about what's known as an EBA, right? An EBA. Do you guys know what an EBA is? Does anybody know what an EBA is? You're right. It's emotional bank account. Yeah. An emotional bank account. So the first thing we're going to talk about is emotional bank account. An emotional bank account is the same thing as a regular bank account. You can make withdrawals, you can make deposits, right? And it's very important that everybody in our life, everybody, including ourselves, let's not forget that, including ourselves, we need to constantly be making deposits into those emotional bank accounts, because the time's going to come that we're going to have to make a critical, constructive criticism, and that will be a withdrawal, right? You know, look, you did a phenomenal job vacuuming this floor, and can I show you a place you missed, right? I mean, you just made a great big deposit, you did a phenomenal job, and can I show you, don't use the word but, get rid of the word but negates everything that you say, and can I show you, that's a small withdrawal. If you make a big enough deposit, you can make those withdrawals at times, right? And it's not going to hurt that relationship that you have. So one of the things that we do when we work with people with disabilities is there's a lot of withdrawals, right? Because we're in training mode. We're trying to train them. We're trying to get them to be better at their job. So it's very, very, very important that just as much as we're making critical feedback, that we're also making critical deposits into those bank accounts. Constantly saying, you're doing a good job. Hey, keep up the good work. Yeah. Positive reinforcement, right? Making sure that they know that you care about the good things they do as much as you care about the things they need to work on. Okay? Now, this goes for all areas of your life. If you find yourself, in just a moment, side note, right? If you find yourself in a relationship where it is constantly in the red, right? Reevaluate that relationship, right? Is that a healthy relationship? Is that a good relationship? If you're job coaching someone and you're always in the red, what do I need to do to start making healthy deposits into that person's emotional bank account so that we can have a good, solid, working relationship? Right? I used to have, when I worked with kids, adolescents at MK Place, I used to have a goal. This was my goal. I would try to make 4 deposits into their account by the end of the night. That was my goal, 4 deposits. And sometimes that was hard. Sometimes those kids, they stretched every bit of my happiness, my comfort, right? And I really had to dig in. What can I tell? There was one time I told a kid, you know what? You tie your shoes pretty good. You know, I mean, that was still a deposit, right? But that was about the only thing that night that I could think that kid had done right. But I want to make sure that that kid had that deposit, right? Yeah. Not only did I do that with the kids, I did that with my coworkers, right? I had to look at my coworkers and say, hey, good job handling that situation. Because again, the more deposits I had, the better relationship we had in case there had to be a withdrawal. I try to avoid withdrawals. I don't like withdrawals. Nobody likes to do those, right? Nobody likes to get those, right? But if you have a good enough relationship with that person, they happen, right? They can happen. And it doesn't have to be a blow up. It doesn't have to be, oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that, right? It doesn't have to be a fight. So, what can we do to help modify a client's behavior? What can we do to help modify? What do you guys think? What can we do to help modify a client's behavior?
Well, I mean, my clients are a little bit different than, other clients. So, really just, establish some kind of relationship, I think for me, and then positive reinforcements, and, no but erases everything you say, and just, that's great, encouragement, all that, and then, just show them, this is the way that needs to be done, nevertheless.
Well, Tara, that's an awesome answer, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to reword it, I'm going to rephrase it.
Yeah.
You nailed it, right? There is nothing you can do to change a client's behavior. Let me make that very clear. There's nothing you can do to change a client's behavior because you have to change your behavior, right? We come in a lot of times thinking that we can change this. No, the only person you're going to change is yourself and the way that you view the situation. So I have a lot of people that their intentions are pure as gold, right? I'm going to come in, I'm going to be the best job coach. Nobody else will listen to Larry, but he'll listen to me. No, you can't make Larry listen to you. But you can change how you approach things so that Larry will listen to you. So it's very important to remember that, because when you're working with another human, our first instinct is to try and change them. Your focus has to be on how you can change you, right? I have a lot of people that get into relationships, the bad boys, He's a bad boy. I'm going to change him. I'll make him better, Mom. I'll turn him into a good boy, right? No. You can't change a person. You can change yourself, but you can't change a person. And I've had a lot of people have had a rough life because they spent a lot of time trying to change people. They couldn't change. So remember that. You can change who you are. So how do we change? Well, most important is we have to learn how to listen. My mom told me, God gave you one mouth and 2 ears for a reason, son. God gave you one mouth and 2 ears for a reason. Shut up and listen.
Yeah.
Shut up and listen.
You can't listen when you're talking.
Yes. Can't listen when you're talking. That's a better way to phrase it than shut up. Don't say shut up. Shut up's a bad word. But you got to listen. So, one of the best things we can do to listen is to make sure that we restate what we are being told. Make sure we got it right? So what I hear you saying is you don't like vacuuming because the vacuum handle hurts your hands. Right? I had this happen once. We had a client who came in and said, he refused to vacuum. Yeah. I'm not going to vacuum. I'm not going to vacuum. And we said, what? You're not going to vacuum? Hold on. Why don't you like to vacuum? I hear you saying you don't want to vacuum, right? Everybody was just getting mad at him because he wouldn't vacuum. And the client said, well, the handle hurts my hands. See, I have a hard time holding this handle. Yeah. Well, all we heard for about a month was, I'm not going to vacuum. We never took a step back and said, well, why not? Right? Well, yeah, it hurt his hands. So as soon as we turned the handle a little bit and he could hold it this way, guess what? The guy was a vacuuming machine. He's like, this is therapeutic. I love watching the floor get clean, right? It took us listening to realize that we had to adapt what we were doing to help accommodate.
Yeah.
So remember, listen, learn how to listen, restate.
And accommodate.
One of the best phrases you can learn, again, there's a few things you can take away from this training. One of the biggest things you can take away from this training is I hope that you learn how to say, let me make sure I understand. Let me make sure I understand. Because a lot of times people will tell us stuff, and we think we know what they're trying to tell us, but we don't understand what they're trying to tell us. So taking a second to say, hold on, let me understand what you're saying here. Right? That word, help me understand what you're saying. Don't let me assume I know what you're saying. I had a person come in, they said, Terry, if I did this, if I worked this many hours and I got this much pay, I wouldn't be able to work here anymore. And I said, hold on, let me understand what you're saying. Are you saying you don't want to work here? No, I love working here. Are you saying that you make too much or too little money? No, I don't make, I make too much money, right? I mean, in my mind, I thought they were coming for a raise. No, now we have to figure out what kind of money they can make and not lose their benefits. Had I not asked this person to help me understand what they were saying, I might have made the assumption that we need to let them go, right? Make sure you understand what the person's trying to tell you. So, learning how to adapt. Once you've listened, once you've understood, here's some key things to learn to help you again, modify those behaviors. First thing is set the tempo. Set the tempo. A lot of times we live in a society that's fast-paced, instant gratification. No. Do it slow, do it right. You can set the tempo as the job coach. Take a deep breath. We're not in a race right now, right? We want to make sure we get things done right. Let's make sure that we set the tempo, right? A lot of times I've witnessed clients come in and they set the tempo, right? They come in and they say, we're going to do it this way, we're going to get it done, we're going to, no, time out. You're the job coach. Set the tempo. Take a deep breath, right? We get paid by the hour here. Let's make sure that we do it right, okay? Next thing. Help them help you make a list. Help them help you make a list. So when you get to that job site, I need to ask you, Bob, what do you think we need to do today? Right? Because you know the answer. You know what has to happen on the job site. You've got your supervisor that's telling you these things have to happen on the job site. But it's important to help the client understand that they have a buy-in in that, right? What do you think we need to do? And they'll give you a list of 2 things and say, okay, we could do those 2 things and be done. And you go, well, don't we need to make sure we need to get the floors done too? And don't you, oh yeah, we better do that too. When they feel like they're a part of that buy-in, right, it's powerful, right? Because they feel like they're not just, hey, I have to go do my job now. No, hey, this is my job. We're working together. We're going to make this happen together. Just as much as you hate to be told what to do without any buy-in, same goes for this person you're working with. They want to have some buy-in. So, we're at the rest area. We sit down before we even get started cleaning and say, what would you like to do first? How would you like to do it? When do you want to do it? How should we attack this area we're cleaning? What do you think, And sometimes they might say, well, let's mop and then sweep. And you say, well, man, I don't know if we should do that, because if you mop first and then you sweep, you might miss some stuff, right? I mean, help them understand how that wouldn't make sense, but at the same time, let them have that buy-in. The next thing is talk to the vocational service coordinator about what level the client's at. Okay? This is the beauty of New Day. No 2 days are the same here. Never have been, never will be, right?
Every day is a new day.
Every day is a new day. That's our saying, right? Every day is a new day. You have got to make sure that you are equipped with as much information as you need to have to make sure that the job's done. One of the things that I've seen happen a lot is we make the assumption that we know what the client needs or doesn't need, and all of a sudden we have a blow-up because the client's going, why are you treating me this way? You don't need to treat me this well. Yeah, that's right. This person is at a much higher functioning level. Or we make the assumption the person's at this functioning level and they're really not at this functioning level. And so we set them up to fail because we have expectations here, and the reality is they're really just here. So communicating with that vocational service coordinator, which is Hannah right now, hey, Hannah, what do I need to know about this client? Hannah usually will give you stuff to read. Make sure you read it, right? Make sure you read what Hannah tells you. Hey, these are the things you need to do with this client. Don't just make assumptions with the clients that you know what they need, how they need it, and when they need it.
Yeah. She makes it pretty simple.
She does.
Yeah.
She does.
And it helps her understand.
Yes, and again, communication. Listen, talk, make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
So this is probably the most powerful thing and the most important thing that we want to talk about, because this is the thing that happens the most, and that is power struggles. Okay? So what is a power struggle? What is a power struggle? Well, a power struggle is when you get into an argument with someone, and in the end, it's nothing more than an argument. For example, I had a client who was supposed to vacuum the office, and I said, "Did you vacuum the office?" And they said, "Yes, I did." And I said, "No, you didn't. Clearly you did not vacuum this office." And they said, "Yes, I did." And I said, "No, you didn't." And the client said, "Yes, I did." And I said, "No, you didn't." Right? No one's going to win in this argument, right? He's going to continue to say, "Yes, he did." I'm going to continue to say, "No, he didn't." So how do you avoid those kind of power struggles? Because they happen all the time, right? They happen all the time. How do you avoid those kind of power struggles? Well, first of all, realize that you're in a power struggle. There is no winners, there is no losers. You're in a power struggle, right? I wish that all the times I go to Boise and I fight for funding, there's times with legislators I say, no one's going to win this, because you say you are and I say you're not, and we're going to have to agree to disagree, right? Walk away from it. Avoid power struggles like you owe them money. Okay? I hate power struggles. They will wreck your job, they will take your mental health, and they will rob you of your sanity. Avoid power struggles like the plague. They're no fun, no one wins, just avoid them. So, there's three key phrases that I want you to commit to memory. I want you to make them a part of your life. I want you to use them in every situation humanly possible. And those three key phrases are as follows. However it may be, nevertheless, and whatever may come. So, let's use those as an example. You need to go vacuum that office. I don't want to. Nevertheless, you need to go vacuum that office. Vacuuming's stupid. It's so dumb. Nobody vacuums anymore. It's stupid. However it may be, you still got to vacuum that office. You know what? I hate you. I hate you. I think you're the worst job coach ever. I'm going to tell Terry on you. I'm going to tell Terry. Right? Nevertheless, you still got to vacuum that office. Right? This is a Jedi mind trick to avoid power struggles. Those key phrases, whatever may come, however it may be, and nevertheless. I don't need to tell you. I don't need to fight with you. It doesn't matter. Right? We can wait all day. You still got to vacuum. Right? Nevertheless, it still has to happen. I hope that you die and never come back to New Day. Well, nevertheless, you'd still have to vacuum that carpet. Right? Avoid power struggles. Any questions so far on power struggles? For those of you watching the video, feel free to shoot me a text, an email, give me a call. I can talk further about this. We got 2 people in the room, so. Yeah. Last thing that I want to talk about, last thing and probably the most important thing, is there is going to come a time that you're going to have to give some of that critical feedback. Okay, there's a time you're going to have to set the law down, right? You're going to have to be the authority. That's part of your job as a job coach. You can't always be the fun person, right? There's going to be times you're going to have to say, nope, we can't do that, or nope, that didn't get done right, or nope, we got to make sure this is getting done right. And when those times happen, I have a saying. You can rebuke with sharpness, but you need to uplift with love. Remember that bank account, right? You need to say, this is what happened. Don't speculate. Don't beat it to death. Just say, hey, this is what happened. But I know you can do better. No, don't use but. And I know you can do better. I know you can do better, right? Uplift with love. Rebuke with sharpness, uplift with love, right? Correct with sharpness, uplift with love. It's very important that you practice that and you keep that a part of what you do. So, quick review. We do things like give chicken books because sometimes we don't realize that we're in a behavioral loop. It's important to take a step back and ask yourself and ask the people around you, is this a good thing? Can we change how we approach this? Can I reevaluate it? Reevaluate your behaviors. with everybody that you have. Remember that every human being you have contact with, you have an emotional bank account, right? You can make deposits and you can make withdrawals. Your goal in life is to have an emotional bank account with every person you deal with that's so far in the black, right, in the good, that when you do have to make a withdrawal, do something that could be constructive criticism or hurtful critique, that you're not in the red, that it is what it is. We can still continue to have a relationship and move on. Make sure that you focus on listening. Listen, listen, listen. It helps to restate what the person says. So what I hear you saying is, and it's important to say, help me understand when you listen. Two very key phrases. Help me understand what you're saying, and can you explain to me, make sure I understand, is this what you said? The next thing is make sure that you avoid power struggles. No one wins in a power struggle. Don't forget the key phrases. Whatever may come, however it may be, and nevertheless, remember those key phrases. Incorporate those in your life. Make those go-tos whenever you're in a power struggle. One thing I forgot to mention with that is if someone's yelling at you, whisper back. It's human nature to whisper, right? If someone whispers to you, whisper back. Try it. Next time you go to the store and they say, how was everything? Just whisper. Say, oh, it's really good. I think I found everything. I promise you they will whisper back to you. They'll be like, oh, good. We're glad that you found everything. Just try it. Test me on that. It's human nature to whisper back. Sometimes when people are arguing with you or they're yelling at you, just whisper. Say, hey, I'm not sure why you're upset. So, avoid power struggles, and remember that when you do have to correct someone, correct them with sharpness, but uplift them with love. Make sure that they understand that you are making a withdrawal, but you're going to put a deposit right back in. No one likes to be rebuked. No one likes to be corrected, but it can be done in a way that can help them change their behaviors, help you change your behaviors, and if you do it right by changing your behaviors, it can help them see the benefits in changing their behaviors. So, one last thing is if you're watching this video and you're listening to me right now, I just want to take one more minute to say thank you so much. What you have to give, people need to have, right? Every day is a new day. Every day is a different day, but you make a difference. Because you work at New Day, you change people's lives. So no matter how frustrating this job can get, no matter how rewarding this job is, just know that you're making a difference. And not a lot of people get to say that. Not a lot of people get to go home at night and say, you know what, I had a frustrating day, but I really did help someone change their life. I really did make a difference today. Keep doing that, because you do make a difference. What you have to give, people need to have, so keep giving it. Thank you, and keep up the good work.